class. Myself Pooja Verma, Assistant Professor of DBD University CS Department. Today we are going to start our topic loop statement. As previous we already discussed about the conditional statement, which is if else, ladder if else and nested if else statements. Today we are going to study about what is the loop statement, what is the purpose behind this, why we use the loop statement when we have the several control statements and several other operators. So what is the basically use of the loop statement in the programming language? So first of all, we have to know about the basic introduction of loop statement, which is loops are basically used to perform the same task repeatedly till some condition is satisfied. For example, in the case of if else, or normally in the programming language, we need to print any single statement for the 10 times. So what is exactly we did? When we are writing simple program, then we have to call 10 times programming condition functions printf. That means 10 times we need to call the printf functions, and then at our output screen we can see that there are total 10 times of same statement will be displayed. But this activity will be used with the help of loop statement because of what? Because of the some task is needed to repeatedly on our output screen. So for that only, when we know that for this condition we need to perform this activity for the several number of times, so that this is basically replaced by the loop statements. Once the condition is not satisfied, the loop is no more executed and the rest of the code will be start executing. Thus, whenever the some codes are executed repetitively for the some conditions, they are termed as the loop statements. That means what? If there are some conditions based on which we need to decide it that if the condition is true, then we go through the this statement, this condition, and when this statement is this condition is false, then we need to move out from the loop statement. For example, an infinite loop is a loop which executes forever. That means what? There are some kind of condition is not mismatched, or there are none kind of the termination applied over the condition. That means when we apply our condition over the task and we don't get the any kind of the condition value equal to false, that means all and each and every time the condition value is equal to the true, and so that only there is one kind of the termination is represented in our conditions, so that our loop will be called as an infinite loop. How it will be possible, we can see with the help of several examples. So now basically in the programming language, see there are three types of methods which comes under the loop statements. First one is known as the while loop, second one is do while loop, and last one is a for loop. These three are all equal in terms, but the writing style, that means we can say the syntax of these loop statements is different compared to each other. Okay. So now we go through the first of all know about what is the meaning of while loop. So one by one we have to go through the each and every topic. Okay. So let's start with the while loop. What is the while loop? In this case of while loop, first of all we need to mention our conditions. That means for what condition, for which value of condition true, we need to perform our same statements for the several number of times. Okay, and after that we need to perform, if the condition is true, then we need to perform our statement. That means we are going to execute our statements. Here we can see that if our condition is true, this is basically the syntax of our program. Here to here, whenever we are going to write our program language, that means our program code, then with the help of the while loop, then we have to mention our program code in this format only. That means while our condition, then scope area, and then mention our number of statements which we want to execute, and after that, which is the most important point, point 1 is condition, and then point 2 is increment or decrement function over the conditions variable. Like if there are variables is used I, j, k and so on, whatever you use, the increment and decrement function is basically depends on the conditions value, so that the condition will be terminate after some time, so that only the program will be never ever goes into the infinite loop. That means the termination of loop will be decided by the help of increment and decrement function. And with the help of increment and decrement function, we can also decide, that means how many number of times this loop will be executed. So we can see the flow chart of this syntax, and we can easily understand about what is the exactly while loop want to say us. Okay, in the case we can say that first of all we need to check our while condition, and if the value of condition is true, then go through the body of loop. Body of loop means what? This area. That means execute first time your statement, then increment and decrement your value, and after that again go to the while loop, again check the condition, and again if the value is true, then again execute your statement, and again you apply the increment and decrement function, and then where we have to go, we again go to the while condition. But right now if we get the value condition is false, then where we have to go, we have to go to the next statement of the outer loop, that means the rest of the program. If we see the syntax, so what is the next statement out of the loop? It is rest of the program. So this is the basically syntax and the flow chart of the while loop statements, where we can see easily. First of all we need to mention our code, then what action we want to do to display on our screen, and after that apply the increment and decrement according to your task, how many number of times you want. If you started from the highest number, then you have to go through the decrement function. If you started from the lowest number, then you have to go through the increment function. Okay, and by the help of increment and decrement you can mention your condition is true or false, and then after that you again and again check your true and false value of conditions, and then work accordingly to that. Okay, so let's take an example based on the while loop. Hope you can easily understand what exactly the loop want to say us. Fine. So here the question is to print the number from the 1 to 10 using the while loop. Right now if I told you that just print a number from 1 to 10 in a C programming language, don't mention that using the while loop. Then maybe some students are perform like print percentile d I is equal to 1, then print the second number 2, print third number, then fourth number, and so on. Then so many what is exactly they did? Maybe some student type 10 times printf function for the printing 1 to 10 number, and maybe some student use this. So for that, what is the exactly enhancement over the program is done here? The exactly here the printf function is called only one times, that means the reduction will be occurred from the previous program. We have in a simple question, in a simple programming code, we need to write 10 times printf function, but in this programming code we just reduce 10 times printf function by only one printf function calling by applying the while loop. And here this is the basically we mentioned that how many number of times, that is the maximum limit according to our question. So don't worry class, that means maybe you are confused with the, that means how we can decide our condition, how we can decide the limit of our condition. Don't worry, this is basically a mentioned in your program also. Like the task is print the number from 1 to 10. So what is the minimum limit? Just look at here. Minimum number is 1 and maximum number is 10. So just take it, that means if there are some kind of variable, I take some type of variable like I is equal to 1, that is we need to print I value of I. I just want to print the value of I which is started from the 1, and where till how many times, if it till, or we can say till which number we need to increment this value of I. So I realized that I need to print the value of I till equal to 10. Either you can say less than 11 or you can say less than or equal to 10. So I go through the less than equal to 10 because I need to print the number till of I till from 1 to till 10 number only. Okay, so that means the condition of I until unless equal to 10, we need to print this statement. And what is exactly here we did? Here we apply our, according to our syntax, after the statement we need to mention, which is most important part, we need to mention I is equal to I plus 1. If we forget to apply this, so what is exactly happen? Our loop is checking I is equal to 1 for only I is equal to 1 and less than I is equal to 10. So we have to go into the infinite loop. If we don't mention the increment and decrement function here, then our condition is never terminated, and so that what will happen here, our loop will be go through the infinite loop condition. So that only here increment and decrement function is mandatory to right here. So again I repeat you the according to the syntax of while loop, first we need to mention the condition. Yes, I mentioned the condition which is applied over the variable I equal to less than equal to 10. So and then again go through the syntax, our statement, I want to display the value of I, that means if I is equal to 1, then here the value what is printed here 1, and apply the increment over the I. Now I is equal to I plus 1, that means the current value of I will be become as 2. And now after that what will be happen? When the condition is true, we go through the body of loop, and then again where we have to go? We go to the again check our condition for the new current value of I. Now I is equal to 2. 2 less than or equal to 10. Value is what? True. The condition value is true. So again we need to print the value of I. So again we get the value 2. And again we need to increment the value of I. So now, right now we get the value of I is equal to 3. And again where we have to be going? According to the flow chart. Look at once again. I show you once again. Whenever we have to the condition value is true, we have the condition value is true, then we go through the body of loop, and again we have to go where? We go to the condition. Okay, so right now we again go to the condition for the I is equal to 3, and here again I get the I less than or equal to 10. Yes, the condition value is true. Again execute our loop, and according to the loop we get the I is equal to 3, print I is equal to 3. And then again we need to increment this function, and so many times, like when we get the I is equal to 9, yes, 9 is less than or equal to 10, so we get the value of percentile D. From the percentile D, I value is 9, and now I is the current value of I after the incremented value is 10. Now again we need to check I 10 less than or equal to 10. Yes, the condition is true. Again we execute, and then value is printed as a 10. And now what is exactly happen here? Look at class carefully. Now I is equal to 10 plus 1, that means the current value of I is equal to 11. So now just check it here why I mentioned less than or equal to. Okay, now when we are going to while loop, what exactly happen here? 11 is less than or equal to 10. So what is the condition value? Right now the condition value is false. So where we have to go? We have to go through the while loop. No, we go through the rest of the program, that means next statement after the loop. So what is the meaning of after the loop? That means the next statement after the closed loop, closed curly braces of loop. So while loop is being started from this open braces and closed, that means the limit of the while loop is till this closed braces. After the closed braces, this closed brackets, we have to go through the next statements. So next statement, according to the next statement, we just print that means new line only. Okay, so this is our program to print the number from 1 to 10. So what we reduce here? We reduce the printf 10 times by help of one number of print function. So now we can see the output of our result. The output of our program, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After the value 10, I also mentioned here what is exactly happened when the I is equal to 10 we receive and play our loop, and after that how we get the value false of our condition and how the loop will be terminated here. So now just take another example of while loop with the help another example of program Fibonacci series to print the Fibonacci series using the while loop. First of all, whenever we get any kind of the task, first of all we need to mention the logic. What exactly the logic behind our program? As I already told you in the class that first we need to mention the logic. When we clear about our logic, when we clear about our algorithm, when we clear about our flow chart, about the task, then we can easily write our program code. Okay, so first of all here the question is mentioned that to print the Fibonacci series. So first of all we know about what is the Fibonacci series. We know the arithmetic series, geometric series, so on, but we don't know the Fibonacci series. Maybe it is new for some student, maybe it is not new for the some student. Maybe some students are well known about the what is the meaning of Fibonacci series. So maybe this Fibonacci series is mentioned in your exam paper, but maybe it is not mentioned. It just by name it is called to you that just print the Fibonacci series using the while loop. So first of all we know about what is the Fibonacci series. So here the Fibonacci series is mentioned like this: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on. So what is exactly we get to see to read this Fibonacci series? Just think about, just take few minutes and just think about it. So I am just thinking that first of all the Fibonacci series will started by value 0. Okay, and there are no limits where we have to be stopped, where we have to not stop. There is no limit here because of what? Because there are some kind of the activity is performed over the series and which is terminated will be based on the user dependency only, either based on the number of terms user want to display, either based on the number till less than or equal to the series will be printed. That means either we print this series based on the number, like print Fibonacci series less than 100 number. That means what? 100 number means the digit 100. That means the value that like here 55. Maybe again we get the 89 and again we get the more than value 100. So where till where we need to print? We need to print value of Fibonacci series less than 100. But maybe someone print this series according to the number of terms, like till 7 times only. So 7 times means only what? First time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, and 7th time. That means till terms according we need to print this Fibonacci series till number 8 only. Okay, so okay, we have decided about the limitations. That means there are two kind of the limitations over the value. So either based on the number of terms, either based on the number of either based on the value. So I go through here according to the value only right now. You can I also describe in the next lecture, that means how we can go through the number of terms also. So here first we get the value of condition, that means according to the limit, that means less than this value. Okay, fine. But what is the exactly method is to generate this Fibonacci series? So we get that first we need to write the 0 and 1, and after that we get again 1, and after that we again 2, then 3. So just again read it in the background: 3, 2, 1, 1 and 0. So we found that the initial value is 0, 1 is decided. Okay, and then 0 and 1, when we get the plus of last two value 0 and 1, we get the again value is 2 as a new value. And again to find the new value, we need to again perform the addition over the last two value. So last two value is what? 1 plus 1. So we get the value 2. And for again to generate the new number, we again perform the same task to generate the new value with the help of last two number additions. The addition apply over the 1 and 2, we get the 3. Similarly, addition apply over the 2 and 3, we get the value 5. Again 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. 5 plus 8 is equal to 13. 8 plus 13 is equal to 21, and so on. So that only there are no limitation, because we can add and add last two previous value and can generate our new value, and again we can generate new value with the help of last two addition of two value. Okay, so here I mentioned that the logic behind the Fibonacci series, the first two number are added together to get a third number. For example, if the number is a and the second number is b, then third number is a plus b, and so on. And the fourth number is what? The fourth number is b plus third number, that means a plus b, and so on. So here, what is the logic exactly comes for the program? This is the logic, mathematical logic. What we get right now, we get the mathematical logic. Okay, but what is the logic behind which we used in our program? So as we know, in our program we need to several variables to store the value and to generate the value. For that, so if there are no limitations, so we don't know how many number of variables we need. Like someone told me that there are total 10, like 3, 6, 9 and 10 and 11. So someone told them, ma'am, there are total 11 value, so we just take the 11 variable. Okay, fine, but here you know now 11 value, but in your question, in your exam, in your general case, you don't have any idea about the number of terms, number of value. Okay, maybe someone give you question about value less than 1000. So you know about the number of value will be generated in the Fibonacci series less than 1000? No, we don't have any idea. So that means here we need to use our variables repeatedly. So how we can use our variables repeatedly? This is basically done with the help of swapping. How the swapping is possible here, we can see easily. Here first we need to call two variables which is basically used to store the initial two value 0 and 1, and get the third value as here mentioned with the help of a plus b, and call the third variable which is known as the c, and c is basically used to store the value a plus b. Okay, first third number is generated. Right now what we see, when we are going to calculate the fourth number, is there any kind of the activity is performed by the first value? No. Second value, that means b, and third value which is stored into the c, that means b plus c. There is no call of a, that means the work of a is end over here only. Okay, here the work of a is over, and here we get the value of second, like b is equal to 1 and third value is equal to 1. So 1 and 1. So there is, and again the sum of this value is basically used to addition into this value and third value. There are again use of a and b is useless. So we get that the previous value will be useless when we go to increment, when we are going to addition of previous last two value. So we don't have any use of other variables before these last two variables. So that we have to decide that if we can reuse our variables to store this value. How it is possible? In the case first, a plus b is performed to store into the c, and right now when we are going to calculate our fourth number, so we just store our value b into the a and value c into the b, and again what we get, c is equal to a plus b. So again we get the c is equal to a plus b, that means 1 plus 1, the value is 2, and again we just for the calculation of the fourth value, so we get to the, again we store our b value into the a, because a is not used further here, a is useless for the next step. So we just reused our a variable. So again we store our b value into the a and then c value into the b, and perform the c is equal to a plus b. So we get our next value, and similarly we just perform it. So when we need to swap this value, that means we need to store this value after performing the addition. After performing the c is equal to a plus b, then we go to the swapping, that means we go to the assignment of b into the a and c into the b. This is most important part, which value is assigned into the where. So here we just look at, that means b value is assigned into the a and then c value is assigned into the B, and after that we perform the C is equal to A plus B. So just go through the program. Here I also mention what is exactly I want to say in the previous slide. That means if initial value is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1. So first of all, this at the first iteration we get the C is equal to value 1, and then during the second iteration we need to store the B into the A and C into the B. So what we get, A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, and again perform the C is equal to A plus B, so we get the C is equal to 2. Okay. So here we can see that how we can swap, we can assign our number to perform to generate the new number. So go through our program, and when you type this program on our C editors, then you can after run this program, you can see how the exactly work behind this. Okay. So first of all, we need to add on our header files h and pony.h, which is basically header files, to include our standard input output device and pony, that is console input output device for our program. Then we started from our main functions, void main function, because we don't know about our output. So here, as we discussed in our logic, we need to initialize our two variables. We need to total 3 variables first of all, and for the generating the numbers, A equal to 0, B is equal to 1, C for the addition of A plus B, and the last is num. Num is basically used to print till which number less than you want to print our Fibonacci series. Like here we mentioned number is equal to 100. So that means what? Our Fibonacci series will be generated till equal to 100 or less than 100. Okay. So which value is basically compared with the number? C is equal to A plus B. That means always we need to check the value of A plus B is less than number or not. Okay. So remember, value of A plus B we need to check, because of the new value is always stored into the A and B, and the C is all have the same value. So this is the most important part. Like here we can again check it. Like we want to print the value is number less than 5. So we need to write now the value of A and B is equal to 2 and 3. So we need to check the value of 2 plus 3 is less than equal to 5 or not. Yes, if less than equal to 5, then we go through the loop. If not less than equal to 5, then we just comes out of the loop. Okay. So here, first of all, the number is basically depends on our task. If this limitation is mentioned in our given question, then good. If not mentioned, this is totally depends on the user or on you only. Okay. So first of all, I just print a call a printf function to just headings of to give the heading of our program to print the Fibonacci series, and also mention the new line. So we go through the new line, and here we just see the again a call of printf function where we mention that enter a number till the Fibonacci series should be printed. That means right now I want to give the instruction to our user, just enter your limitation till which number you want to print this Fibonacci series, and store this Fibonacci limitations into the variable num. Okay, fine. So right now I am going to print first of all our initial value. The initial value of our program, our Fibonacci series is 0 and 1, which is already printed. So I just print our value 0 and 1 here. Right now I am going to check the value of 0 plus 1 is less than or equal to the given limitation by the user. So if the condition is true, then first time we perform the C is equal to A plus B. Right now the value of C is equal to A plus B is printed, is calculated. First of all, we need to print this value before assigning it into the B. Okay, so first of all we need to print this value, and now I am going to assign. First of all, we need to print this value. Why? Because when A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, perform the A plus B, we need to print it. And after that, you just see during the next iteration, you need to assign this value here and here. Okay. So here also, after printing the value of C, we need to assign the B into the A and calculated value of C into the B. And again, we need to go where? According to the while loop flow chart. After performing the loop of body, we go again the condition. So again according to the new value of A and B, new value of A and B, check the less than
a plus b is less than equal to your limitation or not. If it is okay, then again perform the a plus b store into the c and print this value c, and again assigning this b into the a and this c into the a b, and again go through the loop and again so on and so on till how many times? Till the less than your limitation. Like here, just see the output screen. Here I just mentioned the limitation of Fibonacci series is 21. So first of all, it mentioned 0 and 1 as per the first printf call. Now here from the here we go through the loop. A plus b, 0 plus 1 is less than 21. Yes, is less than 21. So we go to the body loop of while loop. Okay, so now it's told us that just calculate the c is equal to a plus b and print it. So according to the function printf, after this value we just print it, and again now I assign this value into the a and this value into the b. So again we need to check our loop. So according to the new a plus b is equal to 2, and 2 is less than equal to 21. Yes, 2 is less than equal to 21. So we need to store this 2 value into the c and print the c value, and again we store this value into the a and this value into the b, and again cross check it and so on. After getting the value 13, we need to check our loop. So I am going to check our loop for the a is equal to 8 and b is equal to 13. So when we are going to this, we get the 8 plus 13 is less than equal to 21. Yes, it is less than, not less than, but is equal to 21. So as per the video lecture of our relational operator, I told you if any one of value is 2, then whole value is 2, like less than equal to. So here 21 is not less than to 21, but 21 is or equal to 21. Yes, if there are word or is being used here, so what is the exactly meaning of the or statement? According to the or operator, if any one condition is true, then the whole value of or operator is true. So according to the or operator, here when the 8 plus 13 is performed, so total value is 21, and according to this the condition of value is true. So if the value is true, so we go through the calculation of c is equal to a plus b, and after that print this value c, and again I just assign this 13 into the a and this 21 into the b, and again I go to the check our while loop. So what we get exactly in a plus b? Exactly we get in a plus b value 34. So when we get the value 34 as a plus b, I need to check this 34 is less than or equal to 21. So what the condition value here we get? Here we get the condition value false. So where we have to go? We go to the outer of our while loop. Okay. So for this we go through the we just move out the our while loop. Okay, so just let's take another example to another program which is write with the help of while loop. So what is the task? Exactly the given task is write a program in C to print the table for a number accepted by the user. That means what? A user can give you a number and you need to write a program to type the tables of, to print the table of that number which is accepted by the user. That means user can give another number, any number. Don't be think about less than 10 value and so on. No. The value of number, the number will be given by the user is any kind of number like 100,000, 2,000, less than 2,000 and so on. Whatever the user want to give you, you just need to accept any value from the user and you just make a program which can generate the table. So what is the meaning of table? As we see the table format, so what we get exactly? We get exactly that we need to multiply our number by 1, then our number by 2, then our number by 3, then our number by 4, our number by 5 and so on till where? Like till 10 times. Okay. So what is the exactly conditions? That means condition applied which variable if number is taken by the user is n, so we just multiply by value 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. So what we get, that means always we need to increment this 1 value by 1 and 1. First it is 1 and after that it becomes the 2, after that it becomes the 3 and 4. So what exactly we did? We did we replace our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by the variable I, okay, and which is initialized by the value I. And after each calculation, like when you perform 5, like for example your number is 5, so we just after performing 5 multiplied by 1, we need to increment our I by 1 value, so that in the next iteration we get the 5 multiplied by 2, and again in the next iteration we get the 5 multiplied by 3. So how many number of times I need to be incremented? So I decided that 10 times only. I want to generate our table only 10 times. Like this, 5 multiplied by 10, that means 50 equal to 50. So here I just apply the limitation over the variable I. So this is the logic how we are decided what is the limitation over the variable, and on which variable we need to apply the condition. So first of all, you need to your logic and decided over here with the help of which operator you need to on which variable you need to assign the increment or decrement value. Okay, so here first of all I just take the call the printf function, accept the number from the user, and with the help of this kind of function we store that number into the variable n only. And after that I am going to start my while loop with the help of condition I less than or equal to 10. Hope you better understand that why I less than equal to 10 is taken here. And after that n equal to n multiplied by I. That means what? The initial value, sorry, the value of n is multiplied by 1 and stored into the n, and we need to print it. Okay, first value is printed, and after that we just incremented the value of I. That means right now the value of I becomes 2, and again we check 2 is less than 10. Yes, when the 2 is less than 10, then again go through the n is equal to n star I. That means right now the value of n multiplied by 2, and then calculated value is stored into the again into the n, and right now your value will be again printed here. Okay, so I is equal to I plus here, perform here, and so on. And similarly what we get exactly here, we get total number of I is equal to 10. Let's suppose here I is equal to 10 less than 10, so we get that n is equal to n, that means number of n is equal to 5 multiplied by what? 10. The value is equal to 50, and 50 is printed here, and after that I is equal to I plus, that is the value of I is become 11. So what is the exactly 11 less than equal to 10? So the condition is false or not? The condition is false. So when we go to the get ch part. Okay, so today we are going to only this portion, like what is the while loop, what is the use of while loop, and how we can apply our while loop in our program code, how we are going to decide our logic behind the while loop. First of all, we need to decide the initialization value, that means the variable from where we need to start our variable value. First of all, we need to decide the initialization. After that we need to decide the condition, that means till how many times you want to execute our statement, that means the statement which is repeatedly called by the program code. So the termination point will be decided by you, that means the condition of while loop. And after that you need to also decide the increment and decrement, about the increment and decrement functions, that means you need to increment it or you need to decrement it only. Okay, so this is totally depends on our logic. If I decided here I is equal to 10, so I is equal to n multiplied by 10, that means the value will be become as a what? The value of n is the 50, and after that we need to print the 45. After that we need to print the 40. Maybe that is what I just generated the table but in the reverse order. So if I is equal to 10, so what is the condition here? I is less than or equal to 1. So this totally depends on you. So I am just going to the basic format, because as we know in our mathematics, so I just use that format which is by which you are well known. Okay, so now this is the whole part of the while loop. In the next lecture we also go to the number of others programming tasks about the while loop and also do while, and also we are going to start our next loop which is called as the for loop. Okay, so thank you class. If you have any kind of the query, then you put your question into the comment box and I will happy to solve your problem. Okay, thank you, have a good day.